Look what I brought you. And I think there's maybe one or two left in the country, or maybe even the world.
That's for me?
Yes, I have to sign it.
Oh my gosh. So, wait, didn't Tom, the producer was saying I needed a John Stamos doll. This is the one thing I don't have because I felt... See, now I don't feel so bad because I have my Stamos
candle,
paraphernalia.
right,
This is a Stamos candle.
Uh-huh.
This is your bobblehead.
Here's the problem with this doll. I mean, literally, they are... When they said they were going to make a doll of me, got so pissed off. It's like, I'm not an actor. I don't want a fucking doll. And can we cuss on this?
Yeah, of course.
And then I said... and now I'm so glad that they made dolls because I have them. I can give. But I literally had two left, and this was my second to last one. But here's the only problem. This is warning. This product contains small parts.
Oh wow, that's embarrassing.
I don't like that.
I feel like that doesn't pertain
to
you.
Me, right?
No, this isn't.
Which may be a choking hazard. That's not me.
That could be a good or bad thing.
Yeah, I'll scratch out the first part.
I can't believe that I'm going to be adding to my Stamos collection.
You spell your name with just an I instead of a thing.
Jessimae, Jessimae.
Does May have to be with it all the time?
It doesn't have to. You write whatever you want. Are you kidding? My 8-year-old self right now is screaming inside.
I have to tell you, I've been very flattered by all your stuff over the years, and I'm glad that I could finally meet you in person. You're even prettier in person, and I mean it.
Thank you.
And I'm just grateful to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's been, a long journey of knowing you. You've been famous for as long as I've been alive.
That makes me old. That's not a flattering.
I have a thing about ageism. I don't believe in the old concept. You're not old. I
don't think so. I mean, I don't feel.
You said the hard thing is keeping up with that sentiment that people say you never age.
Right.
You know, like you're a beautiful man. You're never gonna be unattractive.
I might get in a car accident or something.
Oh God, no. I'm gonna become an EMT then.
I could do it. I used to say I drink the blood of Lori Loughlin, but now that she's in prison, I don't.
Is she in prison?
No,
she's
out.
Fine.
She got out.
She's doing fine. She's
love her. She's doing great.
She's
doing my
wonderful.
Neighbor too. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, she's great.
I'm not proud of her whatever she did, but
people make decisions in life. It's much easier to point the finger when you're on the other side.
On the other side
of jail, somebody's life.
Jail cells?
Yeah, or just their fence, being nosy.
She's the best, and she went to prison and paid her dues, and she's a good person.
Yeah, I in your book you mentioned her. I read your entire book. This is really embarrassing.
Thank you. Why is it embarrassing?
Well, because I look at all my dog ears. I have notes. I have dog ears. Like I actually read this like a... It reads so personal. Like you're a really amazing writer, and
thank you.
I love how you give a window to your true soul in this book.
I know, it broke my heart to do it. I started writing. I was never. I'm gonna write a book about my life. Who cares? I'm not that interesting. I don't really. And then they asked, and then I became a dad. I'm mid-50s. I was like, oh, maybe I could write about that. Then Bob died. I was like, okay, now I have something to say. But I started writing it, and I was like. I was just bullshitting my way through it, and I was like, I did this and I did that. I was like, oh man, this is so stupid. Like, if I'm gonna do this, like, I stumbled upon a line like, anything less than the truth is paralysis. So then I just started, and I remember the week that it came out, and I was doing all these talk shows in New York, and I started to see all the things, and people were talking about it, and I called my publicist. I was just crying. I go, why am I doing this? What did I do? But at the end of the day, I think it's a beautiful book for my son to read someday, and I just wanted to honor all the people in my life, all the my mom and my dad and Bob and Rickles and Gary Marshall and all the people that have meant so much to me. Yeah, it jumps out from the book that you've had a full life filled with people who really love you and support you, and I'm sure you feel so fortunate to have had to be around these amazing people. I can't believe it. Just writing it too was like, it was so weird. I was discovering my story. I thought, what am I doing? Like, oh, I did that. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Oh, I worked with Sammy Davis Jr. He's the one who got me into music. Oh, I'll write that. And so it just seemed it was like writing about someone else, but it's all true. Did you learn anything about yourself on the other side of this book? Oh, that's a good one. That's the best question you've asked so far. That's the only one, I think. I've taken over this thing. Okay, I want to talk about you a little bit because, people do. Where are you from again? Upstate New York. Okay, Syracuse. Oh, yeah. Are you familiar with it? Yeah, I think I played there a couple times with the band. Did you ever go to any Beach Boy shows? No, but fans have sent me, my fans know how much of a fan I am of you, and they've sent me photos of anything. I know where you are all the time. My assistant said that this is going to end in a restraining order, which is so rude. No. Did you? Hi, Deb. I said, is she a nice person? She said, most of the time.
Yeah, it's nice doesn't get work done all the time.
Totally. And women don't, when women are, if a man was like that, it's a whole thing. I am so, it's a beautiful time right now to be a woman, I think. And I should know because look at my breasts. No, that was a Saget run, wasn't it? Because women are really getting just what they deserve. I have so many female bosses, and my wife is a boss, and people, I'm bummed that we don't have a female president.
Yeah, that didn't turn out that way.
That didn't turn out the way.
Yeah, now we're literally in a reality series. Now we should all just be like, fuck it, let's have fun.
Well, yeah.
What's gonna happen? What worst thing could happen?
Well,
it's all unfolding.
Do you talk about politics? Because you really can't. Yeah,
I don't because my view on politics is, first, I don't know enough to really have a strongly educated opinion.
Yeah.
I keep it within what's important to me. Secondly, I don't know what's really going on. I don't know who's controlling what.
Yeah.
Social media, so it inundates us with information that's inaccurate.
I'm controlling all of it. That's
yeah,
all
I think
you
should be president.
I thought about it. Yeah, I try to stay out of it because it's just so, divisive now. And I said divisive instead of divisive.
I like that. It was kind of like a Sean Connery, divisive.
Anyway.
Wait,
but
you didn't answer
digress.
my question. You're
what
dancing
was the question?
around the question.
Did I learn anything about myself?
Yeah, was there something on the other side of the book where you discovered that you didn't know about you or somebody in your life or your relationship with loss, anything?
Yeah, it helped to loss. I mean, I've had more than I realized. I think just a lot of my story that I just didn't even know I had kind of unfolded as I was writing. I was like, oh, what about that? And stuff connected. It was interesting because I started out the book on probably my worst day ever when I was, got in my car and I was fucked up and I was going to meet Saget.
Right.
And so I sort of start with that and then it kind of ends with the last day that I spent with him. Did you ever know him? Did you get to work with him?
I was thinking about that on the way here. I did the will turn? I did the will turn. It was a foundation.
Was it the forum? What did I play? It sounded like me.
Well, it was like a last minute. Somebody fell out.
60,000 people. Remember, it was a big.
I couldn't remember the
Norma
name of it.
Dome, I think it was.
They misspelled my name, and Bob was there.
Yeah, Bab.
That's a Syracuse accent coming through. And out of everybody that was there, comedian-wise, and I had known this just from you and other people, his kindness exuded out of his being.
Yeah.
His heart. He was this affable, beautiful, bright beam of light.
Yeah, he was.
And I didn't even talk to him. I just admired him from the side and watched how he sort of navigated the green room, which is as you can imagine, you've probably been in a bunch.
I have, but I mean, just watching Bob in the green room was, I would always let him go first and kiss ass to everybody, and I'd just be standing in the back, wait until he was done.
Did you ever go on the road with him?
It was, yeah, we did a couple of things. I used to love, one of my favorite things to do, and I talked about it, was he would be doing his song, Danny Tanner Isn't Gay. And, right around the time he was talking about fucking me in the ass or something, I would walk out on stage as a surprise. And people were like, oh my God, I just look at him like, what the fuck? And then it was so, I miss him so much. I don't want to get morose or sad here, but.
You can get whatever you want.
Well, I don't know. So you're from Syracuse. Were you always funny you are a really beautiful girl.
Thank you.
Woman.
Thank you so much.
You too,
I'll take
Deb,
girl. I'll take girl.
And whatever the kid's
Tomas.
name back there.
He's
Tomas?
in there probably hotboxing.
Handsome guy.
Cove.
Oh yeah, okay, good. I see him. He's doing something. He's putting a porn.
He's not even paying
Tomas?
attention. No, he's probably on your website looking for some stuff.
All right. You were always funny as a kid?
I think so. This is something I've looked into. I think it was a way for me to communicate better with my father.
Oh, you talked about him.
A way to connect with him.
Did he pass away?
He did. Yeah, everybody's dead. My sister
yeah.
and I joke about.
Your sister's dead too?
No, she's alive.
Okay, good.
But when she dies, I probably will communicate with her just as much.
You think?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be texting her.
Are you guys best friends?
We're besties.
That's great.
Yeah. You have two sisters?
I have two sisters.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They're nice girls. They're good parents and good people. Wait a minute. So you had to be fun, but you were beautiful probably when you were young. So you didn't have to.
Oh no.
No? Okay.
That's.
Did you grow into it like me?
I still am. Yes. Yeah. I grew into it with a lot of pain and anguish.
Did you? Yeah, I did too. I mean, I had a bully I talk about in there, and
yeah.
Hi, Tomas. You all right? Was I been out of focus this whole time? Because we'll start over again if we have to.
Even out of focus, you're gorgeous. So it's fine.
Did you have bullies?
I did have bullies. I was always insecure about my shins. I had very, very skinny shins.
Who's looking at your shins?
Everybody.
Why, like they bypass that body and go right to the shins?
Yeah,
I don't
they go
think
to
so.
the shins.
Why would they?
Yeah, Frank Vecchio used to make fun of my shins, and I kicked his tooth out.
Oh, really? Toothless Frank?
Yeah, in the wintertime, and so I got lost in the snow.
Did he whistle?
Oh, he whistled his way home.
Jessimae.
Sorry, Vecchio.
Vecchio, we could hear you coming from around the corner. Where's Jessie?
Something I was thinking about when I knew you were going to come on here is the first time I ever met you. You're not going to remember. My girlfriend took me to see Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh, yeah?
With Gina Gershon.
Yeah.
Terrible. On Broadway.
That wasn't a great show.
I thought it was fantastic.
How old were you? 8?
It was 2000. When was that?
I don't know, but how old you were?
I want to say like mid-20s. I'm 42 now.
Oh, you are? Oh, yeah,
yes.
Great.
Thank you.
Boyfriend?
I stopped drinking, really.
Boyfriend?
Do I have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
Well, we'll discuss that off air.
No, we won't. Maybe. Is this the farmer or the trucker? Or
no.
One of those guys?
No.
I can't keep up with the Greeks. I talked to the Greek today.
Wait a minute. Okay,
we're jumping all over the place.
We're jumping all over the place because we know each other, but we haven't actually been able to
but let's go back. Bye Bye Birdie. We were in the same town, right?
Yes.
We met.
Well, you were doing the line. I hadn't really started. I had started stand up, but I hadn't done anything yet. My girlfriend got me the tickets because she knew I was such a fan. Love the show. I don't know what you're saying. You were fantastic.
Thank you.
You are a quadruple threat. The hair.
Yeah. Oh, hair is one of them.
The hair looking good in a blurry focus. Having small parts.
No,
being okay about it.
Oh, okay. No,
I misread that because I thought the doll had small parts. So you were no. So that's not
just
the thing. Big parts.
Choking
hazard. You're a choking hazard.
I'm a Greek.
Yep, that's right. See? That's standard.
So you were in just a backstage out.
I was in line to say hi to you, and I learned one line of Greek.
Oh yeah.
And I said it to you, and you go, "Huh? I don't. You speak more Greek than I do."
Yeah.
That's what you said.
I remember.
Yeah, and you were so sweet and kind, and it was me and a bunch of women hoping you would take them home. I'm sure, but that was the first time I ever saw you in person.
I think I was single during that time too.
Oh, son of a
bitch!
What?
Motherfucker!
Wait, can we talk about Yanni Poopy, Giannis Pappas, my ex, who you've befriended?
So weird because after a while, after we were friends, he goes, my ex-girlfriend is Jessimae. I was like, oh, that girl, the one that stalks me, and no, and and I said, oh, she's funny, she's cool, blah blah.
Yeah, and do you remember when he made fun of you on Twitter? Do you remember what sort of sparked you guys knowing of each other?
Well, he used to call himself the slow Stamos or something like that.
I can see that.
And then he's or
Stamos left in the sun.
No, some kind of like I don't want to use the word like a slow.
Yes.
Slow,
right?
Because his eyes were, and he kind of looks like me after like a car accident or something.
He looks like your twin who got less nutrients.
That I got all that. I sucked all that stuff out. Well, that's a compliment to both of us. I love him, but he was doing. But I thought the jokes were really funny about me.
Yeah.
Right?
But he tweeted at you.
What was it?
He said something along the lines of like, what happened to John Stamos? He was America's heartthrob, and now he's selling yogurt.
Oh. Do
you remember that when he took a jab at you?
No. Did I jab back at him?
Oh, you jabbed back real good.
What did I say? Suck my $10 million cock.
Can I tell you what you said to him?
Please. I forgot about this.
I mean, I kept it because it's like in.
Are we going to be done being friends with him after this?
No, he knows.
I'm kidding.
You said you did get at me, but I didn't like it. Us Greeks have to have each other's back. Be a good Greek, or I'll steal your hot girlfriend.
Oh, that was you.
And no, there was no stealing. No one was stolen.
I said, I will if you're not good.
Right, so he behaved. And I'm the one who lost out. See, he should have kept going. I didn't know that this was a deal.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
You know?
That's funny.
Yeah,
what year was that? I don't remember that at all.
This was, oh my God, this was so long ago, 2011.
But I remember, I just saw him on Instagram or something, and he was doing really funny stuff, but it was positive but funny. And, most of the time it is.
Yeah.
And so that's
that's sort of how we.
Do you live here in Los Angeles now?
I do.
Yeah.
Where do you have? I'm on the west side. Do you live here? Do you have like a house in the Magic Castle, like a room there?
You mean the Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, the Magic Kingdom.
The Magic Castle's a shitty magic place.
Oh, that's right. That's a magician place at Disneyland.
No.
I imagine you live there.
I don't.
No.
No.
You love it though.
I do, but I don't. I'm doing a gig tonight at the El Capitan Theater. No, the Sherman Brothers. They wrote all the music for Disney.
Oh yeah.
I hate being serious. Growing up, this is part of the book too. It's like I'm speaking of Disney. Like I've just had this Peter Pan syndrome where, people tell me I look young. I feel young. I grew up without tent poles of responsibility like most people. So I went into being an adult kicking and screaming, and it's just hard for me to be serious. And you're so like steady and solid.
I am not.
But you're not. No?
I enjoy doing this, and
Right.
I'm focused on the conversation. But
Right.
I think that there's something. Maybe that's what's kept you youthful. Don't you think? Like that sort of.
Yeah, because what's next? You're adult and then you die. But I still have a youthful energy. I hope about myself. I went swimming right before I came here.
Humble brag. Wow. What's your swim gear? Are we wearing Speedos? Are we wearing trunks? Do we have a hat cap to protect the hair?
No. I mean, go naked, especially, it was during the day, so people were there, but I still, So, what were we, so you were funny, but so you were a little guac.
I was a geeky kid.
Right?
Yeah, I think
so
you
was
were
I.
a geek too,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And then one day, just as I was coming out of being a caterpillar to the butterfly stage, do you remember that when you?
Still happening for me.
I was in marching band and I'm out practicing early in the morning, and this guy playing cymbals, I never forget, he goes, "Hey, so this girl wants to go out with you." And I went, "What?" And I stopped, and some idiot, the guy behind the trombone hit me in the back of the head. And I was like, "You're kidding." I was like, No, don't tell anybody, because her sister told me, and she was the hottest girl, and she went to a all-girl Catholic school too. Ooh. But I knew she was, but so he says, "Don't tell anybody." I'm at a party that night, like the nerd, like a block party.
Right.
And I'm telling everybody, "Hey, so-and-so, let's go out there." And it goes house. Turns out that she had a boyfriend, the big football dude, So I was in a car. I can't remember who I was talking in a car, and someone knocks at the window, and I roll it down. Bam! A sucker punched me right in the eye. Gave me this horrible black eye. I'll never forget it. And I was so humiliated and embarrassed. And I remember looking in the mirror. My friend said, go in the boys' bathroom. And I went in there, and he'd written on the window, "I'm gonna kill you, Big Nose."
Oh my, Big Nose.
Yeah, I had a big nose then. And I thought, okay, I gotta do something serious. I gotta become famous, to get back into. And every career, level, I was like, I'm gonna get on TV. I'm gonna play with the Beach Boys, and I'm gonna invite them to the show, and I'm gonna be playing a drum solo. I'm gonna have my bodyguards beat them up.
Was that your drive?
That was my drive. I wanted to dedicate the book to him. The publisher wouldn't let me.
Because of the incident of him punching you in the car?
Just because they didn't think it was right. But I wanted it, because without him, I want to find him someday, and whatever bathroom he's working in,
tip him extra.
I want to give him an extra tip, and say, "Listen, you thank you, because you gave me this drive, you gave me this thing," and I went out with your girlfriend afterwards. She said you had a small penis.
You had small parts.
You had small parts, and it doesn't matter. Now, I don't know where he is. I think he's. I know he's. I don't know, but I would thank him. I didn't mention his real name in the book, but it's weird how things like that. Did you have that, or did you get bullied?
I think
there was no.
There wasn't anything
media.
like that for me. There was no social media, but entertaining my sister. She was just, her laugh did something to me.
Yeah.
And also seeing how much my father connected with comedy.
How old were you when your father passed away?
This was in 2018. He passed away.
8 years ago.
Yeah, but I want people to know, like, first of all, this book, if you would have told me that you and I would be sitting across from each other when I was a kid.
Same.
I'd believe it.
You would? Okay,
I'd be very grateful, but I believe
it. See what she did there? We got to go to a commercial? No.
But this book really is revealing about you, and it shows who you are, especially how you open up on a story that puts you in not the greatest light.
No.
But through this book, you navigate all these different corners of your life that really paint the landscape of who you are as a person. But, aside from all the joking, you sent me a message. When my father passed, you were working. We're also friends. Jeff Ross is a friend of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you were working with another friend of mine, Yamanika Saunders. on the historical roasts.
Oh, yeah.
You played John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah,
right?
Saget played Lincoln. I had to shoot him. I said
That's what really probably caused.
it's my fault. No,
fault.
I wasn't going to do it. And they said, we played John Wilkes Booth. I said, yeah, okay, who's Lincoln? They said, Saget. I said, I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, playing with your friends.
But who was the girl, Yamanika?
Yamanika Saunders, she played Harriet Tubman.
Right. Oh, right. She was so talented.
She's so funny.
Good. And so we were doing that.
Audacious.
And what happened?
You guys sent me a video of being there working together and you letting me know that you had heard about my dad passing, and I thought that was just so touching. But aside from that, you also posted on the post I put on Instagram of my father the day he passed. Would you mind if I read what you posted?
Okay.
You said, "Hey Jesse, your fans and friends told me you lost your father. I'm so very sorry. What beautiful words you wrote. Look at that handsome devil. Just that twinkle in his eyes and that grin he's sporting in this picture makes me think he was one cool dude. Someone I would have loved to have met. Both my parents are gone now, and one of the things that brings me comfort is knowing I spent so much time with them, celebrated life, and made the very most of every moment with them. Sounds like you did all that and more. I bet he was extremely proud of you. You say he hoped he knew and felt a lot of the things from you. I guarantee he did. I hope my son feels all the beautiful things you felt about your pop, about me someday. Sending love, John." And that's who you are amongst all these other things, the Peter Pan thing. But I thought, wow, this is really special that someone like you would take time to share some love with me over loss.
Yeah.
And I've always thought about that, and I just thought that was really cool that, through all these years and all these things you've done with your career, that you really do care and you'd make an effort to go outside of the norm, I think. And I just think that's really cool.
I want to make a joke so bad, and I'm not going to.
Please
no,
do.
no, because
Come on!
because when someone compliments you and you don't take it, then I'm
How about we?
But I'm happy that you got that, and I do remember writing that. And you know what? It took me a minute or something. Like it's so easy to be nice to people and care about people and spend a little time with, whatever it is, a text, a thing. Or
I do want to ask you. I do like to talk about real stuff too.
That's all we've talked about so far.
Yes, I mean you came in with the doll. And you are not leaving with that doll. That better not be
no,
like a
no,
hat trick where
no,
you
it's
take it
yours.
away from me. We both are orphans.
Yeah, that sucks. Huh?
That sucks.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? Your mom's passed?
Nancy's dead.
The one that was on the radio?
Yeah, the one that was on the...
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you don't get to meet Nance. No Pants Nance is gone. She died.
Oh, I'm sorry. You did say you said you wish you had more time with her. Mm-hmm. How long ago was that?
She died... My dad was in 2018. She died in 2020.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I should have wrote you a tweet or something.
Well, you can do that when you go home. Before you get on stage
How
tonight.
did I miss that?
You fucked up.
See, what an asshole.
You turned into an asshole. See how people know who you were?
Yeah, and now who I am.
You really are.
Yeah. What a jerk off. Nobody told me the mom died. I need Deb. What's the matter with you?
Deb, you didn't send Stamos an email?
She sounded so alive on the things.
Fired.
I was actually, to be honest with you, because you sent me, I said, send me a couple of your, episodes that you liked, and you sent me that one, and you said go skip to 28 because my mom was on there. I said okay, and I'm listening, and it's cute. It wasn't, it didn't, but maybe because she's not around anymore, you wanted me to hear it.
Yeah, I wanted you to sort of get insight on who my parents were, if you were interested.
I was. She read a lot, and you busted her on Danielle Steele, and you said, "Come on, Mom, you got Daniel," but you were saying Daniel Steele or something, and. Yes. And she likes what's his name, the horror writer?
Stephen King.
Yes. And she made sense. She's like, you don't like horror movies, Mom, but you like to read Stephen King. She says, this is real life stuff. This could really happen. Horror, which would seem scarier to me.
It seems so much worse.
Yeah, right. Like
it's like
red rum.
Right, something that could really happen to you.
Well, that's fucked up, huh? And how old was she?
Must
have been young too.
She was 72.
Yeah, I think that's around. My mom was 70, I think. Did your mom? My mom died of a broken. I mean, she didn't take care of herself after my dad passed away. But
you're gonna say a broken heart?
Yeah, I think so.
That's real.
Yeah.
This is such a generic question, but I genuinely am curious. How did you cope? And was it just survival? Were you just trying to survive, or did you have ways that you actually were making a concerted effort to?
I think that's when I really hit the lowest point of my life and just started drinking to numb it and grabbing at low-hanging fruit, just to quell some empty part of my heart that was. So I would drink to allow myself to be around people that I shouldn't be around. It was a bad cycle, and I just hit rock bottom, and I found myself in rehab. And my friend called me and said, one of the last things your mom said to me was that she said, I'm worried about Johnny. And so I said, I gotta pull myself together here. And you got to be strong for the rest of the family. So, but I took it, took it very hard. I mean, when my dad died, I was around the time I got divorced first, my first marriage, and that too. I made a lot of mistakes. That's I think the point of the book, right?
Yes.
Like you can make these mistakes, and you can fall down and get back up. I've been doing out of the blue. I started doing Legos, which sounds so fucking nerdy. I'm sorry to ruin your image of me. I do other cool things too.
It was ruined right when you walked in.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I'm totally kidding.
What?
Totally
That's
kidding.
so fucking.
See, that's what I'm saying. Say the joke. Say what you
That
think.
wasn't a joke. That was terrible.
No.
So I bought something for my son, Lego. He showed some interest, and my wife said, "You guys, he's not playing. He's not doing those." And I said, "That's expensive." I said, "Well, then fuck it. I'm going to do it." And I started doing it, and I realized it's like life. Like you really have to build your life properly, and if you don't, if you fuck up, you got to go back and regroup. And I'm taking this fucking Lego apart, going, what did I miss? One little fucking. And at one point, I didn't have the right piece. It needed like a 2-pronger, and all I had was a 3-pronger. So I cut the fucking thing, and I made it into a 2. And I'm like, you can't. There's no shortcuts. Like, do the work. Be disciplined. My dad was so disciplined, and I used to be. And then you kick that line, you push it a little further, kick that line, push it, and then. And, you talk about parents being gone. Like, I remember looking in the mirror going, like, my parents were fighting. I'm disappointing them so bad right now. So, but let that be a lesson. The Lego lesson from Stamos.
What was something that your mother would say to you is maybe an advice or something that would always make you feel good? Is there something she would say you reflect on?
Well, yeah, a lot of things. I mean, she had enough love to fuel a small country. Like, she was the most loving. Your mom seemed like that too, right?
Yes.
My mom left. This was the other thing that finally locked in. I said, okay, I'm gonna write a book. My mom left these little notes around that I saved all these years, and I told the publishers, they're like, no, that's going to cost too much money. I don't care. And I actually put the letters in the book. And one of the first notes that I saw as I swear to God, I'm walking out the door, half cocked, going to meet Saget, get in my car, fucked up. And I'm looking at I had a bunch of things on my wall. One of the letters was framed from my mom saying, don't give the devil a ride. He'll end up doing the driving. And motherfucker, I get in the car and, But there's also really great ones in here, and don't ever.
handwriting.
Yeah, it's her handwriting. So I have all these notes to look into. Look back. Here's one that says, "Don't release your book the same day Britney Spears releases hers."
Did that really happen?
Yeah, it is cool. That's good, dear John. Dear John, just to let you know once again how much I love you, and I am the luckiest mom in the world. Some of my happiest memories are all because of you. Enjoy your loves, your laughter, and your blessed life. Love and kisses forever and always, Mom. She should say, I love you more.
Oh,
That's one of the things, too.
my mom would say, I love you to the moon and back.
Yeah.
I brought a couple notes from my dad. Can I read a couple to you?
Yes. Oh, so your dad wrote notes, too?
My dad wrote notes a lot.
Did he write anything to me?
He didn't.
What did he think of me?
Oh, he loved you.
Did he?
Yeah, he loved you. He thought that you were entertaining, and both my parents did. Actually, before I read...
Did your mom write any notes about me?
She didn't write a note, but she texted me once. She goes, Stamos on Law & Order. His character was just killed. I said, way to build my dreams and smash them in one text, Mom. She said, sorry, he played a very bad guy. I said, Mom, that's no way to speak about your son-in-law.
That's cute.
She goes, he was a skeezy, very bad guy.
Yeah. I had 48 children on that one.
I said, that's why I fell in love with him in the first place.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Do you think this is when, because I know from reading the book, when you met, was this the episode when you met Caitlin?
Uh-huh, yes.
That's pretty wild that my love was being torn down while you were creating new love.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it took me a while though, because she was married. She was engaged. I walked into the makeup room, and I was going to ask her out, ask for a phone number, and she was like, "And then we're getting married over here at Chelsea Pier." But anyway, talk about your dad's notes. Those are your dad's notes, right there?
Yes.
Wow.
So your mother wrote, these beautiful, how much she loves you, and that you're the pride and joy. My dad says, Jessica, I'm not paying this. You have to be more responsible. Love, Dad.
That's good.
And then he wrote, these were usually
Did he say, I love you? Was he?
Love you.
Yeah. Did he say it to your face?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My parents, even if we were just leaving for 4 or 5 minutes, we would say, love you.
Yeah, that's how.
We were very affectionate.
That's beautiful.
And I don't know, for me, I wonder if this is the same for you. When both of my parents died, obviously the loss is profound and there aren't words to describe it. But because of the love, there weren't many rocks unturned for me.
Right.
Did you feel the same with your parents?
Totally. Yeah, there was no regret. No, I said everything, a million times over. We say I love. My dad didn't say it a lot. God damn it, you overuse it, Loretta. It waters it down if you say it every. I said I don't care. But he would say
waters it down. That's hilarious.
But he would say it. So and in my family now, I mean, I love you, I love you, I love you, with my son and my wife.
That's so it's important because, as you know,
tomorrow's never promised.
It's never promised in these times when we're together. We don't know if they'll be the last times.
This won't be our last time.
No.
Second to last.
Maybe third. This is a more emotional note from my dad. Jessica, don't tell anybody about the money, including the family. I love you,
seriously?
Dad. He used to bail me out. Being an artist and performing and doing all those things doesn't necessarily mean or equate to a lucrative life.
I would come home with dough. My dad would say, who cares? Go clean the dog poop in the backyard.
That's right. You were still working at your dad's restaurant.
Yeah.
And have you ever had any thoughts about opening up your own restaurant? Is that something that... Okay.
You ask about how did I do to get through and stuff. The one note that I found, and I was a complete wreck after my mom died. And I remember going back on that. The ambulance was taking her, or the ambulance was taking her to the thing, and she passed away. And I was drinking, I was crying, and I was just looking through her stuff, and I saw some note, and it said. I keep thinking of my dad's note, which was the last thing he wrote. And he never wrote notes like your dad. And the last thing he wrote this long list of things. And then he said, a man doesn't have many great moments in life, but you have given me many. Oh. Yeah, he said, dear son, life is an occasion, rise to it. Don't be sad because I died. Be happy because I lived. I had a wonderful life. Right? So you go to that. It's just you folks out there listening with kids, write them some notes. Leave them.
The notes are amazing.
The notes are amazing.
The lunchbox notes, all those little details of life.
Yeah, right.
I believe that everyone has all types of grief, and we don't.
Right. You're
talk
right.
about the little grieving moments, like
right.
losing a pet, losing a job, losing a relationship, or whatever it is. And
right.
I found in my life, and I'm curious about for yours, that the darkest moments have the most belly busting laughter.
Nope.
Okay, see, it's different for everybody.
Dark, but Saget was that. That was him. The darkest moments. He would make jokes. I mean, fast too. I was like, Bob, this is too soon. I asked him to host my father's funeral, and he gets up. And he says, tonight's specials are cake and cock, and we're out of cake. My mom spit out whatever she was eating, and I was like, oh, Bob.
He was such an enigma.
Yeah. And I wish he knew it. He didn't know it.
I didn't know that. I don't want to give too much of your book away, but you
Why
talk
not?
about.
It's, sorry.
Well, because it really is a great read.
Thank you. It just came out in paperback.
That's right, paperback. A couple days ago, I think.
I didn't bring you one. But.
You talk about the fact that he didn't know how great he was, which seems to be a common theme amongst a lot of artists and performers, but specifically male comedians.
Oh yeah.
It is definitely a.
Do you know any of them that are not fucked up? I want to talk to you about comedy too. I'm sorry that I don't have a ton of time. I can come back.
We'll do a part two. For sure.
I'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah, we could.
Or I'll spend the night here.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I'll come back after my gig
sleepover?
tonight.
Oh my God, yeah. We could talk
with the sleeping bags and tell
separate
scary stories.
Bags. I'm not a
separate.
I'm not a homewrecker. One question I wanted to ask.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Comics.
Comics. Yes. It seemed that Bob didn't know of his greatness, which I think, in a way, and I could be wrong, adds to his greatness, and people like him.
Totally, yeah. But you'd think he would, because he came off, very pompous at times,
But you said that he softened throughout the years, and that's when you really started to fall in love with him.
Yeah.
So what softened him?
Well, nothing we just connect. We didn't connect for the longest time. I saw his first wife recently. There was a benefit, scleroderma benefit, which he spent his life trying to advocate for. And I remember at the funeral, she came up to me and she hugged me. She said, "Bob loved you so much. He also hated you. He was so jealous." The first couple of years was rough because, he was a comic and wanted to he was addicted. He was like an addict for laughs, as you guys are, which is great. I'm fascinated by stand-up comics. I can't do it, but I study it. I love it. I love the mechanics of a joke. I love the structure. I love the mathematics of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And and that's why I've surrounded myself for years with some of the best
legends.
Especially thanks to Bob. Bob, some of the first comics that I was hanging out with, like Gary Shandling, quite a bit in those days, and all their comic friends, and Rickles was a separate thing. Rickles didn't love comics, but he finally loved Bob, and eventually loved Jeff Ross.
Why do you think that?
Because they always try to compete with him, I think, and it's stupid. You can't.
He's the Godfather.
Yeah.
There's no one like him.
No.
For somebody, say there's a alien child from another planet who understands English. You have to explain who Don Rickles is. How would you do that to them? Simplest way.
Insult comic or whatever, but he wouldn't have, not like that. What's his name recently? He somehow he did it with love. His stuff wouldn't work nowadays, and it broke his heart because towards the end. Anyway, I was like a second son to him. He lost his son, and his son was like in his 30s. And, we were friends before, but then I think that really locked in our friendship. I loved writing about him in the book, too. For those of you youngsters out there, Mr. Potato Head, he was Mr. Potato Head.
He was no one quicker.
No one quicker. And I studied him, and I thought I knew every road. Most of the time I did. I knew where he was going to go because he had these Rolodex, And
what was it, just a memory, or how was he so quick and so good?
He just had it. And when you asked him for my birthday once, he said, "What do you want for your birthday?" I said, I found this record called Hockey Puck or something. And I said, "I want to listen to this record. I want to ask you questions like how you did this joke, how you remembered that, how you remembered 30 people in the audience." He goes, "No." I go, "You ask me what I want." So we start playing it, and I started asking him, "How'd you do this?" He said, "Shut up. God damn it, I'm funny." He's listening to himself. But he would say, "I'm just doing Rickles. He wouldn't let anyone write for him. It just came out,
He didn't need it.
He didn't need it. Well, I mean, if he was on TV, I don't want to talk the whole time about Rickles but I would, but what do you want to ask me? Since you were a kid, what was the first time? So you were just kind of, "Hey, I love John Stamos," and you started tweeting at me and text Stamos.
You put me to bed.
Okay.
I don't mean,
was that good? In a good way?
You were in my house every week, and I think that show for so many people really highlighted what family meant, and what family means is different for everyone.
Yeah, it didn't have to be.
The core values are there.
Right.
It was all about those core values.
I always say that. Well, I don't always say it, but I'm going to say it now. That there was no central character on there. The central character was love.
Yes.
And it didn't. And as I think one of the reasons why it become more and more popular as the years go by is because, the divorce rate is up, same-sex marriage is up. So we didn't look like a normal, mom, dad, 2.5 kids. It was an odd family to start with, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't matter. We were still family.
The strangest part of the show was having a Canadian live in the house.
He was from Detroit.
Oh, I thought he was Canadian.
But close.
Why did I think he was Canadian? Did he like?
He loved hockey. He loved Canada. I'm going to see him tomorrow. He's battling.
I didn't want to bring it up.
You can, because he talked about it. He was on, Good Morning America and everything. But I think he's going to make it. And I told him, you better, because if you die, then it's going to be like, oh, it's a Full House curse, and then I'm I'm next.
God, no. That can't happen.
Saget, those are the kind of jokes Bob would do right away, But, and Dave, too. I called him the other day, and he was just doing jokes, and,
Does it bring anything up for you? Like, do you have
any
PTSD?
No, I'm trying not to.
Yes.
I really am. And I think he's going to make it. Like, he's got an 80-90% chance. And with his attitude alone, it brings it to 100%.
And he's going to have a great hour.
Yeah, right.
This is material on the brink of, a disease and dealing with that.
Dave was hands down the funniest guy in any room, including Bob, Shandling, Rick, anybody. He just, I don't know why, he gets on stage. His act was great. He doesn't like doing stand-up. He hasn't done it for a long time. But
I didn't know that.
He was so good. He was so good at it. One of the best. He did voices and things he does. But I'm looking forward to seeing him, and I'll come back on the show and we'll talk about him.
Yes, I know you have to go. I guess
I'm sorry, we have so much to talk about.
We really do. I mean, I didn't even get through half of the things I wanted to discuss with you.
Let's hit the big. Go ahead, hit the big ones. And
well, the one thing that your dad would say to you, it was something you wrote in the book that I connected with, and I thought was something that was a dadism from what your father seemed to be an amazing person. He says, follow your heart, Johnny. Be kind, be appreciative, be grateful, and leave with class. I think, for someone like you, you've been famous for so long, and you've really managed to navigate through this industry that's really difficult in a way that is classy and respectful. And how did you do that?
With examples like my dad. He would treat the busboy the same way he would treat his best customer. He would treat Tomas the same way he would treat you. Although, no, he might treat you a little better. You like pretty girls. But it was, with advice like that, I think. I haven't always been great. Come on, but I like people, and you know what it is? Gratitude. I get up every morning and I make a list. Even if it's just like, today's, I'm grateful for the day. Jamie Lee Curtis, my spirit animal.
She wrote your foreword.
She wrote my foreword, and every day we text, what we're grateful for, what we're fearful of, and an attribute like today I'm a Jessimae Peluso fan or something.
Peluso, close enough. I'll take it.
Jessimae Peluso.
Do you know what my name means?
Jessimae
Peluso.
What?
You're
Italian, right?
Yeah, Sicilian.
Yeah.
What's the Stamos mean? Did you ever look into the etymology?
What do you mean? What does it mean?
Like the meaning of Stamos. Does it have any root? Greeks always love saying the root word is Greek.
Yeah, hair.
Yours means hair?
No.
Oh, because mine means hair.
No, really? Oh, Peluso. Yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah, very hairy.
Hello. Are you gonna have kids?
Are you offering?
Do you see how I segue there? What a pivot, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to figure it out rather soon, but I guess I could be a 60-year-old mom. I could be
for fucking sure.
I could go for a Guinness Book of World Records situation. Why not?
You could have kids easily.
Do you
want them?
I do want them, but then I also want to be able to give them back. But I guess that's where aunts and uncles come in.
It's not for the faint of heart, because it's I've been around kids my whole life. I've always wanted kids. And if I didn't have a child, I don't know what I would do. At my darkest time, I was like, I got everything. I'm on a sitcom. I play with the Beach Boys. But which was such bullshit, because I meant to be a father and have a family, and I just love him so much. He got his adenoids taken out the other day, and a couple days ago, and but he lost one of his teeth is loose, so now he's got missing two teeth. Bye, Dad. I love you, Dad.
He's got a little list.
Yeah, he said, I don't have a list. Stop saying that. I say that. He's got so much compassion. We picked him up at school recently, and all the kids were like hugging, saying, I love you, hugging. And I asked the teacher, I said, when did you start that? She said, your son started that. I said, oh my God, I started crying. He's a funny one. He's a player.
You talked about making him laugh and how important that was.
Yeah,
for you.
that was the first. Bob would say, I'd say, I don't feel connected. I wanted a kid my whole life, and I don't feel connected. And why? And he said, wait until the first time he laughs at you. And it was I sneezed, and he thought that was so fucking funny. It's not when I was foreheaded. No. But we were at Disney World. No, we were in Paris, Disney Paris, and we had a guide for a few days. And the first day, the guide was a nice, French lady. The next day was she looked like you, like this beautiful blonde. She was from England, and Billy was like, blah, 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 his eyes got and we're at breakfast, and I overhear him. He's like, here's his move. He's like, you have to guess his shit. Like, so, what's my favorite food? No. Pizza? No, hamburger. What's my favorite pet? Like, come on, Bill. And I overhear him. You got to get some game, son. And so then he says, and he has this little girlfriend named Bella, and she lives in the neighborhood. And he's telling this guide, he said, and I have this girlfriend, and her name is Bella, and she's really cool, and her dad does this, and everything. She's my friend, I love her, and she's blah, blah, blah. Great. And then the guide says, excuse me, I have to use the restroom. So, okay. Just as she gets out of earshot, he looks at me and goes, why did I tell her I had a girlfriend? Like he had a shot at her,
Wouldn't it be great that you surrounded yourself around comedians, and now you have like a little comedian in the house?
Yeah, I wish Bob was around to see how funny he is, because he's pretty funny.
Well, do you think that he is? Do you believe in that? That maybe his spirit's still around? Is that something that you believe in?
I have a hummingbird thing. I talk about it in the book. Yeah, do you see hummingbirds ever? And do you think
dragonflies are my thing? Okay. Same sort of situation where it's been a wild occurrence.
Oh, really? They just show up?
Yes.
One showed up the day Bob died, and I wrote about it. And I whipped my phone out, and I swear to God, I got this beautiful hummingbird that just came and sat for a few minutes, and flew away. But Billy and I wrote a book. I don't think it's not announced yet, but we wrote a book together, and it's.
Are you going to publish it?
It's going to be published, yeah.
That's great. Can you talk about it yet?
No, I guess I can't.
I know you have to go. There were so many times where our paths were going to cross, and I never actually got to meet you, in person. So this is a treat.
It's a treat for me.
I think that's why we're people meeting each other for the first time, essentially. Right. So that's why we're just kind of like, what are you doing? Questions. What are you doing?
Yeah, right. That's called an interview.
Yes, but it's more like two people who have known of each other, right? Figuring it all out. One question I want to ask you is, for people listening that are going through some sort of loss, what is something that you want to tell them that you wish you knew, or something you wish someone had told you about loss and grief and going through that experience?
Well, we sort of hit on it earlier that tomorrow's never promised. Say everything you want to say to someone. Do it. If not now, when? That's what Jamie Lee always says too. So we're not. I hope we're not defined by. I don't think we are by the big things we've done. Your comedy, or my TV shows, or my whatever it is, my cinema. It's the microtransactions, the little moments that we spend with each other. Any kind of interaction with, when I say hi to you, whatever it is, a text, a thing, and those are that's what makes you, I think. So make sure that all those things are, in order, and say everything you want to say. Don't hold back. It's like, I'll tell him I love him tomorrow. Or I'm embarrassed to say I love you. And I've had so many friends, even guy friends, say like, I never used to say I love you. I love you. I love you too. And I love you, Jessie.
I love you. I love you so much. I mean, obviously I do. I've got a freaking diffuser in front of you with Have Mercy on it. It's embarrassing.
I brought you this bracelet. I should have brought more. I have some in the car. I can give some to.
Is this your foundation?
Yeah.
You and Caitlin. Caitlin does a lot of charity work. She's amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you so many questions about her.
I gotta go. I do have to. I'm gonna. Here.
That's for me. You're not. I'm taking that.
All right. Where's the marking pen?
You threw it on the floor.
Oh, I'll get it.
Got it. And then I have one last question.
Go ahead.
Now, you said you should write a book, and I told you I have been for a couple years about my dad.
Love it.
And I wanted to ask, would it be unreasonable to ask you to write the foreword?
I'd be happy to.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. That'd
be
really
amazing.
Sweet. Yeah.
I'd be. That would just be great.
Can't we just print what I texted you?
Yes,
what I tweeted you that one
that's
time?
fine. Well, I'll just take a picture of your signature, and that will be the foreword.
Jessi?
MAE.
Why do you have to put the? It's Jessie. Okay.
Write whatever you want to write.
No. MAE.
Yeah.
I know. MA. Oh shit.
It's fine. It's great.
I love you. I really do.
I love you. And when you come back, we'll talk about this foundation. Unless you want to say anything now, but we can always edit. Yeah, because
listen, there's so much darkness in the world, and you've always been light and loving and kind. And, whenever I saw some bit that you'd say about me or whatever, it always cheered me up, and it always made me happy. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're amazing.
And should we...
hold hands?
Yeah, do you want to? Do you say a prayer?
We probably should.